Recording in progress.
Hello.
Jay, you are here?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Anybody hear me?
Yes, Jay, we can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
us?
Yes. Everybody's
Okay.
there. Should I start? My internet is not so good.
Okay, we will start as soon as possible. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
Is somebody going to translate?
Yes, all your we have I think 8 languages. All interpreters are here. And we have 2 Zoom
So
rooms.
believers are going to listen to this?
I think, yeah, people would like to receive the vow.
Okay.
Okay. So I will just briefly introduce you and then we will start the Bodhisattva vow. And you will recite the 7 branch offering prayer first.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Can you see me?
Yes. Maybe Jack, we should spotlight Rinpoche. Is that okay?
Are we beginning?
Yes. Okay, Rinpoche, I will start now. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. 大家好. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Jennifer Yo. I'm the executive director of the
對不
Kumarjiva
同時區嘅法友，
And in Chinese
大家好，
tradition,
早
today's
安、
the day
午安、
that
晚
is
安。
friends and families
感
reunite
謝
with
你哋
their
今日嚟
families
參
and
加法
friends.
會。 我
And
叫
we're
Jennifer
really
Yu，
grateful
係
that
鳩摩
our
羅什
Buddhist teacher,
計劃
Teacher
嘅執行
Rinpoche,
董事。
takes
鳩
time
摩羅
in
什
the
計
midst
劃
of his
嘅願
travel to
景
be with us
係
and
透
give
過
us the
翻譯佛
Bodhisattva vow.
教典籍，
It has been a very tough
並
time
且以
for
簡
all
單
of
易懂
us
嘅現代
around
中
the
文
world.
傳達呢啲經典之中蘊藏嘅智慧， 為中國佛教界服務。 依照中國嘅傳統呢， 今日係中國人同家人親友團聚嘅日子。 我哋非常感激我哋嘅佛教導師做實情者仁波切喺旅途中抽出時間同我哋一齊，並且俾我哋傳菩薩戒。 對世界大部分地區嚟講呢， 現今係一個非常艱難嘅時間。 希望透過呢一次嘅法會呢， 我哋都能夠獲得更多嘅力量同埋信心，繼續活下去。
To all the Buddhas, the lines of the human race,
而家就係念
in all directions of
七
the
支
universe,
供養。
through past and present and future. To every single one of you, I bow in homage. Devotion fills my body, speech, and mind. Through the power of this prayer, aspiring to good action, all the victorious ones appear, vivid here before my mind, and I multiply my body as many times as atoms in the universe, each one bowing in prostration to all the Buddhas. In every atom preside as many Buddhas as there are atoms, and around them all their bodhisattva heirs. And so I imagine them filling completely the entire space of reality. Saluting them with an endless ocean of praise, with the sounds of an ocean of different melodies, I sing of the Buddha's noble qualities and praise all those who have gone to perfect bliss. To every Buddha, I make offerings of the loveliest flowers, of beautiful garlands, of music and perfumed ointments, the best of parasols, the brightest lamps, and finest incense. To every Buddha, I make offerings, exquisite garments and the most fragrant scents, powdered incense, heaped as high as Mount Meru, arranged in perfect symmetry. Then the vast and unsurpassable offerings, inspired by my devotion to all the Buddhas and moved by the power of my faith in good actions, I prostrate and offer to all you victorious ones. Whatever negative acts I have committed, while driven by desire, hatred, and ignorance, with my body, my speech, and also with my mind, before you, I confess and purify each and every one. With a heart full of delight, I rejoice at all the merits of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Prayakat Buddhas, those in training, and the Arhats beyond training, and every living being throughout the entire universe. You who are like beacons of light shining through the world, who pass through the stages of enlightenment to attain Buddhahood, freedom from all attachment, I exhort you, all of you protectors, turn the unsurpassable wheel of Dharma. Joining my palms together, I pray to you who intend to pass into nirvana, remain for eons as many as the atoms in this world, and bring well-being and happiness to all living beings. What little virtue I have gathered through my homage, through offering, confession, and rejoicing, through exhortation and prayer, all of it, I dedicate to the enlightenment of all beings.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Richard, for coming today. Now, can we request you to give us the Bodhisattva vow?
而家我哋請寧波車傳我哋菩薩戒。
So first of all,
寧波車話咧，首
happy
先咧，
autumn moon festival
大家
to
中秋節
everyone
快樂。
who follows this tradition and who
對
doesn't.
嗰啲係尊重呢一個傳統嘅人，同埋嗰啲唔尊
Somebody's
重呢
going
個
to
傳統嘅
translate
人
this,
一
or should I
樣。
just continue?
Yes, it's a simultaneous translation.
Oh, okay. I'm in a very remote place in Bhutan,
我而
so
家喺不丹一個好
internet is probably not the best.
遙遠嘅地方，嗰
But
個
the moon is very clear.
互聯網咧就唔係好穩定嘅，
Probably
但係咧個
that's
月色就
important.
好漂亮。
I'm sure under this very moon,
我好肯定咧喺呢個月色
billions
之下咧，
countless and countless of
有億萬
bodhisattvas
嘅
of the past
菩薩
have taken
過去
bodhisattva vow.
曾經係受菩薩戒嘅
And I'm
嗰啲菩
sure
薩，
countless of The future
亦都
bodhisattva
有
bodhisattvas will also take
無數嘅
bodhisattva vow under this very
將來
same
嘅佛
moon. If I call it this very same moon.
喺呢一個同一個月亮之下呢，係發菩提心，係受呢個菩薩戒。
Vow
呢個戒律
is
戒
like
呢，
direction.
好似一個方向咁樣，
Vow is like a premise.
好似一個住所。
But vow also is like the key to the freedom.
佢亦都係通往自由嘅論事。
As a human being, we
作為
need
一個人呢，我哋係需要
we need premise. We need a ground.
需要有一個地方，需要有一個住所。
We need this because we are always
我哋需要
going
呢啲呢，
through
因為我哋經常都係
what the Buddhists call dukkha.
受到
Yes,
各種嘅苦，正如佛陀所講嘅
experiencing fun,
苦受。
like maybe like tonight.
雖然大家都有享受呢個快樂，好似今日中秋節
sort of
個喜慶
celebrative mood.
慶祝呢嘅心情。
After a while, none of
但
this
係經過
lasts.
冇幾耐呢，所有呢啲嘅歡
While
樂呢
it's
都唔會係
It's never
長久嘅。
100% perfect.
就算佢哋發生緊咧，亦都唔會係100%嘅圓滿。
So there's a constant
所以我哋經常
and therefore constant insecurity.
係有呢個嘅不安全感，
And because of this insecurity,
因為呢個不安全感呢，
we sort of jump to quick conclusions,
我哋會掉入一
trying to
啲嘅
fix
結論，
things,
想
trying
去
to, I don't
修正一
know,
啲東西，修補一啲東西，
apply all kinds of remedies.
或者運用所有嘅
And many
去
times
修補嘅方法。
these solutions, they
但係呢啲嘅方
themselves
法，
end up
佢哋本身呢可能會
some sort of
成為
problem.
另一
So
個
I think
困難，
having a right
一個難
premise,
題。
right ground, right
所以
foundation,
呢，我哋一個正確嘅住所、正確嘅地基、正確嘅方向係非常之重要嘅。
If you think about it, there's a no greater,
如果你詳細啲去諗，
sober, more
最清醒、
non-deceiving,
最唔希望嘅、唔呃你嘅、
premise,
冇欺騙你嘅
foundation, then
基地、地基
way of
或者住所，就係菩薩之道啦。
how Bodhisattva's way of thinking,
菩薩
Bodhisattva's
嘅
way of
諗嘢嘅
doing
方式，
things,
佢
and Bodhisattva's
睇看事物嘅態度， 佢處世嘅方法，
way of looking at things.
同埋佢看事物嘅態度呢，
So this is why I would say there's no
所以
greater
我會話
vow than the vow of
冇咩戒呢係能夠超越呢個菩薩戒嘅。
I will consider myself very fortunate that
我會認為自己係好幸運，
sort of acting as the preceptor or the
我能夠
sort of
作為
master
呢個傳戒嘅人，
taking the
今晚
vow.
為各位傳授呢個菩薩戒。
And some of you may have already taken the Bodhisattva vow.
你哋之中呢，有啲人呢已經係受過菩薩戒，
Benefit of the Bodhisattva vow.
亦都會知道菩
Maybe
薩
the first
戒
time.
嗰個利益，
And for
亦都有
you,
啲人係第一次係受戒。
I would say
對於呢
this
啲
is one
法友
vow
呢，我會
that
話
you should
呢一
not
個係
hesitate to take.
一個戒呢，你唔
Because
應該
on the most
係去猶豫
fundamental level,
去得到呢個戒嘅，
a vow
因
to
為
be
最基
kind
本嚟講，
to oneself
去
and others.
對於自己同埋他人去仁慈，
Vow
有慈悲心，
to be compassionate. Vow to
誓願要
be beneficial
對自己同對
to
人有
oneself
慈悲
and
心，
others.
利益自他。
You know, there's no better vow than this. There's no better kind
冇任
thought.
又冇乜其他嘅戒呢，係比呢個更加好嘅。
Now, Bodhisattva vow or the Bodhicitta vow is not
菩薩戒呢，
limited by wanting to
或者
do
菩提心
something
戒，
like a philanthropic, something like
唔淨止話係要做一啲嘅社會公益，
some very limited
一啲好有限
philanthropic
嘅
action.
公益嘅事
Fundamentally,
業。
the Bodhisattva vow
基本嚟講呢，
to
菩薩
understand
戒呢就
the
係
truth
要誓
and
願要
help others understand
明
the
白
truth.
呢個真理，同時
Because
要
only
幫助
through
其他嘅人
understanding the
明白
truth,
呢個真理真相。
one
因
will
為
then
只有透過呢個明白真相，
liberate oneself
先至
from
能夠
all these unnecessary
讓自己解脫
entanglement.
於所有嘅困惑，
One will not only liberate oneself,
唔淨止係解脫自己，亦都係要解脫眾生。
another thing,
另一點呢，
Bodhisattva vow is doable.
菩薩戒呢係能夠做得到
This is
嘅。
one vow that you
呢
can
一個戒係一個你能夠
actually take,
真係去
have the ability.
承受嘅，
Everyone
你有呢個
has.
能力，每個人都有能力去受呢個戒嘅。
And also, this is one vow.
呢個亦都係一個
The aim of
戒
the
呢，
vow is definitely
佢嘅目的
achievable.
肯定係能夠係做得到嘅。
Even the aspiration
譬如
to
我哋
have
講呢個願
peaceful world.
法，
Yes,
希望
it may be
願望
possible,
有一個
but
和平嘅世
some
界，
it may not
呢
be
個
possible.
可能係做得，可能係會成功。
Liberation from the
都互聯網有啲唔
duality,
係幾
liberation from
穩
the
定。
ignorance is it's not a false aspiration.
但係呢，呢個願望去解脫所有眾生嘅困惑呢，呢個唔係一個
Vow that is worthy to take.
錯
And
嘅
this is the
一個
only
嘅
vow that
願望。
gives us the
呢
fruit.
個戒呢
In
係唯一一個
fact,
戒呢，係能夠令到我哋
fruit
得
of the
到
vow
呢個成果。而呢個戒嘅成果呢，
the moment you even think about taking the vow,
係
the moment
你
you think of helping somebody, we don't
呢一
even
個
know
時刻想去接受呢個戒，呢個時刻你想去幫助
we
其
don't
他
know
人，
who are you going to help.
甚
We
至
don't
我唔
know,
知道
but
你係會幫邊個人，
I wish to be
但係
helpful. I
我
wish
呢
I
個
can,
願望
you know,
去
benefit others.
幫其他人啦
I，don't know how,
去利益
you
他
know,
人啦，
when,
你唔知係咩時間去或者
with,
幫邊個人，
you know,
幫邊個
with
人。
people, but you don't have this very wish to help
係
others, this
僅僅呢一
even
個願望
considering be
已
beneficial
經
and
係
to
被
be
認為
useful
係
for others. That's
有利
already
益，
the
對於
fruit.
其他人係有利益嘅。呢個其
So
實
this is
可以話已
this is
經
so
係一個成
precious
果嚟嘅。
and so
所以呢個
as
戒咧係非
many
常之珍
bodhisattvas of
貴，
the past said.
同埋咧好多以往嘅
Metta
菩薩都
is a
話
one mind
菩
that
提
can
心
turn
係呢個心
even
咧
the
就係能
negative
夠
actions to
轉變所有嗰啲
positive
嘅
actions
負面嘅
and
力量咧
positive
成為正面嘅力
actions
量，
to the enlightened actions.
繼而咧將呢
There are
個
two.
正面嘅
It
力
turns
量咧
bad
轉
things
向呢個
into
覺
good
悟，
things and good
由
things
惡轉
into
善，由善轉去
enlightened
覺悟，
or transcendental things. So I urge
最終咧係
you
要
to all
成
rejoice
為一個
ourselves
超然嘅
for
事情。
be participating this taking the Bodhisattva vow tonight,
所以
especially
所
in
以大
this
家係要參加呢個
autumn
菩薩戒嘅人咧，尤其係喺今晚
Okay,
中秋
so
節呢
today
一日，
I'm not going to actually, as usually I
今
recite
晚咧
certain
我
stanzas
同平
or
時做嘅有少少唔
but I'm
同，
not
因為
going to
平
do
時
that
咧我會
today. I'm
係
going
念
to
個儀
just
軌，但係今日咧我就唔念個儀軌啦，就係我只係
guide you through how
係
to contemplate.
教你
So
哋帶
let's
住你去點樣去
contemplate.
諗
Let's
啊！
think
我哋而家係跟住咁樣諗法嚇。
present, of course, the past and the present, but even the future Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're
過
all
去
in
現
front of
在
you.
未來嘅佛，我哋觀想佢就在自己嘅面前。
So think that all sentient beings,
我哋諗所有嘅
beings
眾生，
that you know, or beings that you have never
你識得
heard
嘅
of,
人，
never
你
known.
唔甚至你未聽過嘅人，未聽過嘅眾生，
Now generate instantly, think that you
一剎那間咧自己諗，
now think that you in many
一諗
quantities, billions,
你係有成
we
為
are
分身
all
好多千萬，
prostrations to the Buddha,
我哋都係向呢個佛啦嚟到去
Buddha's
頂禮，
disciples are, and also the Dharma and the Sangha.
我哋頂禮咧呢個佛陀正法同
And
埋呢
then
個僧眾，
in front of
我
them,
哋向佢哋
think
三寶
that
歸依，
from now till enlightenment,
我哋諗就係自己，
I
我哋
shall
咧就
take the Buddha
由現在
as
直
my
至
guide,
成佛咧，我都
as
係
my
以
teacher,
佛陀為我嘅導師，
and the Dharma as my
以呢
path,
個正法為我嘅道路，
and the Sangha as my
個僧
companion.
團為我嘅道嘅伴侶。
One more time. I think,
翻嚟一次，
contemplate in front of all the Buddhas and
我哋就
Bodhisattvas.
係默想咧，在所有
From
嘅
now till
諸佛
enlightenment,
菩薩面前咧，諸佛菩薩面
we
前，
will
由
take
今
the
至到
Buddha
正德
as our
成佛，
guide,
我以佛
as
為
our
自己嘅
teacher,
導師，
Dharma as the path, and
係
the
我哋嘅
Sangha
嚮導，
as our companion.
以法為我哋嘅道路，以僧眾為我哋嘅道上嘅伴侶。
Now, slightly different.
今次咧有少少唔同，
In front of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas,
喺所有嘅諸佛菩薩面前咧， 我係咁諗。
Even though I do not recognize
雖
this
然
is
我
the
係
Buddha,
唔認識呢個就係佛陀，
and think that all phenomena, even though they appear
所有
in
嘅
myriad
現
ways,
象雖然
none
係
of
以
them
千
have
差萬異嘅方式顯現，
truly
佢哋冇任何嘅真實嘅。我諗互聯網係有啲嘢漏咗，不
we
穩定，
trust.
可能佢係話所有嘅現象咧冇任
Okay.
何嘅自
So
性。
with this, let's consider we have taken
互聯
refuge.
網嗰度有啲漏咗嘢。
Now the next one, our event
跟住咧就
today,
係
the Bodhisattva vow.
今晚咧就係
Once again,
傳呢個菩薩戒啦。
think all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you, and also
我哋亦都係觀想諸佛菩薩就在面前，跟住發菩提心應該。
think in front of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Today,
喺所
I
有
shall
嘅佛
take
菩薩嘅面前，我今日咧就會受
how the Bodhisattvas of the past, such as
呢個菩薩
Manjushri,
戒，就
Avalokiteshvara,
如以往嘅文殊菩薩、
Kishtigarva,
觀音菩薩，
as how they took the Bodhisattva
佢哋
vow,
如
I
何
shall
係受
also
菩薩
take
戒
the
呢？我
vow
亦都係同
and
佢哋一樣，
practice
學佢哋一樣去
Bodhisattva
受呢個菩
path
薩戒，
step by
同埋
step.
修持呢個菩薩嘅道，循序漸進咁樣嚟到修持，一步一步咁樣嚟到去修持菩薩嘅所有嘅學處。
Again, one more time. In
再
front
嚟
of
一
all the
次，
Buddhas and Bodhisattvas,
在所有嘅佛菩薩面前，
I shall take the Bodhisattva vow,
我而
just
家
as
係
how the
受
Bodhisattvas of
菩
the
薩戒，
past have
就正
taken
如
the
以
Bodhisattva
往嘅
vow
菩薩
or the
係受
Bodhicitta
菩薩
vow.
戒嘅方式，或者菩提心戒嘅方式。
And I shall engage with
而我會
I
呢，
shall apply the Bodhisattva activity step by step.
我會修呢個菩薩行，一步一步咁修。
Okay, one more time. In front of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, I
再
shall take the
跟住咧，再嚟一次，
Bodhicitta vow,
在所
just
有嘅
as
諸佛菩
how
薩
the
面前呢，
Bodhisattvas of the past
我而
have
家係
taken.
受菩薩戒，就正如往昔
And
嘅
step
菩薩
by step,
受
I
菩
shall
薩戒咁樣
apply
嘅
the
方式去
Bodhisattva
修，
activity in
同
my
埋咧，
life.
我會一步一步咁樣去呢個修呢個菩薩行。
Now, rejoice yourself.
而家咧，我哋應該
that
係
Today you have become
好隨喜自己，
Buddha.
成為呢個佛陀
Today
嘅
you have become
孩子，
Bodhisattva.
今日成為咗一個菩薩。
Today your life has become fruitful.
今日咧，我嘅生命咧係有意義。 我生命咧係成為好有意義。
I belong to the family of the Buddha.
我已經成為呢個佛嘅族嘅一員。
Okay. Now, after rejoicing to all sentient beings,
呢個興起之後咧，
we
So-
have already thought of all the sentient beings in front of you.
頭先我哋講啦，即係我哋亦都係觀想所有嘅
Declare
眾生都喺我哋嘅 周圍。
In front of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and you sentient beings.
我哋都係向嗰啲
I
嘅
have taken the
眾生
Bodhisattva
嚟到
vow.
宣説咧，我已經
I
受
have
咗菩
become the
薩戒啦，
servant of the
我已經
Buddhas
成
and
為
Bodhisattvas and the
諸佛
sentient
菩
beings.
薩嘅僕人，亦都係
All
眾生嘅
heavenly beings
所有眾生嘅僕人。
asuras rejoice.
所以咧，嗰啲嘅阿修羅啊，嗰啲嘅天龍八部咧，你哋請你哋都係
Now,
好歡喜，好歡慶，
since we have taken the Bodhisattva vow,
因
let's
為我
immediately
哋受咗菩薩
practice
戒
the
咧，
Bodhisattva activity,
可以即刻嚟
thinking
到去
or by
修呢啲
having
菩薩行。
observations. So just follow my
咁
guide
有
you through the
帶住
observations
呢個
or
嘅
example of
發呢個嘅願嘅菩提心。咁我哋咧就好似寧波車所講嘅以下所講嘅嚟到發願。
may I become food when there's a famine.
有饑荒嘅時候
May
咧，
I
希望我
become
成為食物；
medicine when there's ailment.
當有呢個疫症嘅時候，希望我成為呢個醫藥；
May I become bridge when there's someone wishing to get
如果
across.
有人想過河咧，希望我成為一道橋；
May I become a boat when someone wants to reach the other shore.
如果有人係想過河嘅話咧，我希望我成為
May I become a
一隻
guide
船，希望
when
我
we
成為一個響導。
encounter lost ones.
如果有啲迷路嘅人，
All my existence, even
所有嘅我
breathing
嘅存
in
在
and
咧，
out,
即使
may it
係
become
呼吸，
beneficial.
亦希望
one way or
能
another.
夠係利益
May
其他嘅人。
lead myself and all sentient beings to understand
希
the
望我能夠
truth.
帶領所有嘅人啦，所有嘅眾生啦，係去明白呢個事物嘅真相。
Now, as you know, the real
大
bodhicitta
家都可能
has
知
to
道，
be
真正嘅菩提心咧，
with the mind of the prajna, the wisdom. Without the wisdom, the
係
body,
要有
the
般
main
若嘅智慧。
ingredient of the bodhicitta is not there.
如果冇般
So
若嘅
as
智慧咧，嗰個菩提心嘅
begin
主要成分就唔喺度。
let us
因為互聯網又斷斷地，
just be aware
我哋而家係
of our thoughts.
察覺自己嘅心念。
It could be something very mundane and ordinary. Just be aware
我
of
哋嘅
that.
心念可能係好
Just
普
being
通嘅、
aware.
好世俗嘅，唔緊要，我哋只需要係去察覺佢。
No judgment,
我哋而家係咁做下呢個修心，呢個察覺，呢個自己嘅心念。
may disappear. No
我
need
哋
to
好
go
快咧
after that.
就發覺咧個心念咧會消失，我哋都唔需要去追住佢，
Simply being aware of
好
whatever
簡
is
單，
happening this very moment.
只係要知道而家所發生嘅所有嘅嘢。
That is a genuine,
呢個
short
係一
maybe,
個
genuine, authentic beginning of
真實嘅
ultimate bodhicitta.
啊
Okay, so now
第一步，
we have
係
taken the bodhisattva
究竟
vow
菩提心
We will
嘅
now
真實嘅第一步。
by reciting few auspicious
而家咧，我係會念少少嘅吉祥嘅頌文。
Okay, thank you.
好多謝各位。
Thank you. So Rumji, we're going to introduce the Creative Resilience Project. Would you like to say a few lines about it?
我哋而家係
I think
想
maybe you
介
should
紹下呢個
begin.
有
Okay.
有創
I
意
can't
嘅
hear myself
能力
come
呢個
out
項目。
here, so I'm getting a little distracted.
Yes, the internet is so good. So thank you so much, Rumji, for coming. And
Jennifer 多謝凌波車係傳俾
Happy
我哋
Moon
菩薩
Festival
戒。
to you. Okay, just on behalf of everyone here, and thank you, Rumji. So we'll continue with the program, and if internet permits,
跟住落嚟
please stay with us. Okay,
Yes.
so
we
go
have-
to the next part of the program. I would like to
下一個
introduce a new
環節啦。
initiative, which is supported by Consider
我係
Mission and the
介
Kingsley
紹
Foundation. It's called the
一個嘅
Creative
項目，
Resilience Project.
叫做呢個
This is
創
a
意
project
嘅
that has
韌
been shaped by the contributions of many wonderful individuals, including Sandra Scales, Deepak
呢個
Tagore,
創意
Deborah
嘅項目，
Dorje, Tara
創意
Teresu, and other
能力嘅
dedicated
項目咧係一個
artists
真
and
正特殊嘅
psychology
舉措。
students of Rinpoche.
緣起呢
So
係
let me
近
take a
年
moment to
獨特
briefly
嘅挑
introduce
戰
you
同
to
埋
this
困難。
beautiful project.
喺清真
Can
廉波
you
車
share
同
the
埋
screen,
音節基
please?
金會嘅支持之下呢，呢、個項目咧得
This
到
is
許多
the
優秀
Creative
嘅人士嘅貢
Resilience
獻，包
Project
括係
website.
Sandra Skill 啦、
If
Deepak
you have the
Tagore、
opportunity
Deborah
to
Dorje、
click into their link,
Tara，
you
以
will
及咧
notice
其他
that when
嘅
you move
廉
the
波車
mouse,
嘅
this
弟
beautiful
子，佢
glow
哋
is
有啲
coming
係
from
心理學
on the
嘅
home page.
同埋
And now
藝術
let's
都有
enter
專
the
長嘅人士。
experience of this project. The first page you will see
咁咧
are
佢
the
係
five
介紹呢個
elements
網
with
頁
the
啊，
five
呢個
guardians.
網頁咧
And
就有
each one of them
5
are
個嘅5大嘅元
created
素。
with different menus. So Jack, can we go into maybe the
每一個
water
項目，
element?
每一個即係元素咧都有
So here you can see
有
a
啲
menu with different
可以細分裏
options
邊
and
入去
exercises
睇嘅詳
offered
細。
by the team.
佢
And
亦都
if
係
you
有一啲
are
嘅
very
方法介
curious
紹俾我
what
哋。
are here, you can also go to the top right corner where there's an all content menu. And then here you can see there are many different
你
simple, easy to follow psychological exercises. There are
左上
meditations,
角啦，
classes,
可以睇到好多
podcasts,
嘅
and
目
also a
錄
lot
啊，
of
佢
different
裏邊
shared
有唔
very
同
nice
嘅各種嘅功法。
voices and recorded by some of the students of Rinpoche. And then I personally
佢
find
哋都係咧，
very
廉波車嘅
helpful
學生
is
製作
when
出
I
嚟。
first came to this website, when we go to the bottom of the website, we can also see
喺呢
there's
個
how to
嘅網頁
use
嘅
the
下
site
方咧，
and more about the guardians. And in the how to use this website, I found it very
佢有教我哋
interesting.
點
They
樣去
have a
用
section called
呢個網頁。
how do I best use of this website? And so here you can see they
點樣
have
先
exercises
能
you
夠
can do when you're
誒
say if your
去
spirits
適當
are
咁去用
low
呢個
and
網
you
頁
need
咧？
uplifting, what you can do. If you are in a relationship that is
例如
troublesome
話，
at
如
the
果你情
moment,
緒低落嗰陣
then
時
you
候，
can actually
應
do
該
the
做啲乜
art
嘢
of
功法
listening.
咧？如果
If
你
you
係
are
處於
annoyed or
關係
angry,
之中遇
then
到麻
maybe
煩，
you want to read
你可
Resolving
以做咩
Anger.
咧？
If you are
或者話
stuck
你好
with
煩
friends
惱、
and
好嬲
cannot
嘅時候，
act,
你
what
想
you
改
can do
變
is
你嗰
maybe
種心
put
態，你又
action
可以
to
做咩
action
功法咧？
and then create
如果
a
你
new
被卡住、
pathways.
鎮住，
And
而
then
無
if you
法
are
行
too
動，
critical of
你又可以
yourself,
做咩功
there are
法咧？
also things
如
you
果
can
你對自己
follow.
太過
And
挑
they're
剔，
very
你又可以
simple.
做啲咩咧？
Most of them are just few
正
minutes.
如你所睇到嘅
So thank you, Jack.
呢個
And
創
so
意
I
能力
think
嘅
I
團
wouldn't
隊
want to
喺過去4
spoil the
年之中咧，
surprises for you.
係付出
So
咗
it
巨
would
大
be
嘅努
wonderful
力
if
嘅。
you
我
can
哋
find some
好
time
榮幸
to
向你介
try the
紹
website.
Central Skill。
And today
Central
we're
Skill 咧
very
就
honored
係
to introduce and
寧波
one
車
of the team
嘅
members of this project, Sandra Scales.
係啦，Central
Hello,
Skill 咧就
Sandra.
係
Thank you for joining us today on the Moon Festival.
Yes, wonderful.
Hi, Sandra. We have prepared 2 questions that we would like you to share with our friends here. The first question is, can you share with us how this
寧波車嘅
project
爸
came
爸咧，
about?
清華
Because
部嘅
it's
學
so
生嘅，
new,
佢又
so
有一個心理
different
學
from
博士
going
咯
through this
學
project
位，
website. Can you share
同
with
埋咧
us
就
how
係
did this
有
project
心理
come
學
about?
同埋佛教方面咧都有深厚嘅訓
By
練，
the way,
Yes.
it came about
佢能
because
夠
Rinpoche
提供一啲
has
精簡嘅佛教心理學方面嘅方法咧，幫助我哋處理嘅情緒。
So he asked us to use the idea
咁
of
即係佢話
resilience
咧，就係寧波車咧就
mastering our
係
mind. So then we did
希望咧我哋
do, we thought very
去
hard and
創造
took
一
a
啲方
lot
法
of
嚟
time to think
嚟到去應付呢個情緒。
He didn't want us to just have Buddhism there. He
佢
wanted
唔
it
想
to
我
cross
哋
the borders of all
淨係
religions
講
and
佛
all
教嘅嘢，
cultures. So then
佢
we had to think,
想做一啲跨
because
界嘅、
Rinpoche asked us, we
跨
had to
宗
think
教
what's going to cross these
唔同
borders.
跨唔同嘅宗
And
教
it's
或者
pretty
係跨
easy
學科
because
嘅一啲方法。
everybody gets angry,
譬
everybody
如話
gets lonely, everybody gets down
憤
and
怒
out,
講啦，每個人都會
everybody
憤怒，
needs
每個人都會
connection. And
覺得係
because
沮喪
of
嘅。有啲
the
時候，
pandemic, a lot of connections were lost.
譬如
Then
話
we
喺
tried
個
to think,
瘟
how
疫
do
之
we,
中咧，
how can we connect? What's
我哋
there
同
really
好
for
多人
us?
都失去咗
And
聯
we
絡。
came up with these ideas. Well, the sky, we all can
咁
look
我
and we
哋
all see the sky. We have the same
就
sky.
諗起
We
呢
have
個天，
Earth. And then
雖
we
然我哋見唔
started
到
thinking
對
about the
方，見唔
guardians
到
and
啲
the
朋友，但係咧，
dakinis
我哋其實
and
每個
all
人
these
咧都睇到
things.
天
And
空嘅。
then it just went
天
from
空
one
其實可以
thing to
話
the
係
other.
一
So
個
we sort of
嘅
tried to be
五大
creative.
或者係
It-
空行母
actually,
嘅
we
其中
didn't
一
plan it.
種。
That's the thing. We were like on a blank canvas, and it just kept evolving with colors and Tara's art and
諸如此
ideas.
類嘅咁樣
And we
嘅
came
意
up
念
with
咧
this.
令
I
到我哋
hope this has
去
some
發展
order,
呢一個
but it
嘅
could
網
be
頁，
just a
呢一個
mess.
嘅
But inside this mess
創意與
is some
及創
psychological
意韌力
things
咁一個
which
項
can
目，
help us. Now, before
同埋
I
咧亦
I
都
just
有好
want
多
to say
心
one
理學
thing
方
that's
面
really
嘅方法咧，係可以幫到我哋嘅。
we're all aiming on this bodhisattva way. Now, emotions
我哋
and
大
what
家
we're
都
presenting
希
in
望
this
係
is
修
just
呢
like
個
how
菩
to
薩道
make life easier, how to move the boulders that are on the path. So
我哋都係想
emotions
知
are
道
just like
點樣
the
去
way we change our clothes, the
令
way
到
we
我哋嘅
put
生活
the
更加係容
thorn
易
bush,
受。
how to get out of it. So that's all. But the problem is if we get entangled, then we
但係
sit
如果
there
我
too
哋咧
long and our aim
對於
for
我哋嘅
others
心中
is obscured.
嘅一啲嘅
So
困
it's
惑
sort
咧
of just
係
like that. We're
係
just,
困住喺度
I
嘅話
want
咧，
to
我
make
哋
it really,
就
really clear.
走唔出
Emotions
走唔出
are
嚟，咁
can
係好麻煩
take
啊！
time away from our bodhisattva aspiration. And if we can get to undo them quickly, that's handy. So that's sort of what we're trying to do here. Uplift and undo these
所以我哋
tangles quick.
希望咧就係能夠咧揾啲方法
Right.
咧係
It doesn't always work
令到
right
我哋
away.
好
So,
好有
but it very
技
often
巧咁
does.
樣去走出一啲嘅
But it
一
very
啲嘅
often
困
does.
惑。
All the time we were doing this, we said, well, how often will this work? And then we'd try it, and then we'd have people try it. And most of the time it sort of
我哋
worked.
喺呢個過程裏
And
邊
then
咧，亦
the
都
other thing
係
is, it's temporary
揾咗
because
好
we're
多嘅
walking
人咧
down
嚟
the
到試
road
驗嘅，
to
好多
compassion.
人都係感覺咧係
Move
真係
one
有
boulder
效。
and bango, there's another one. And so then we have to deal with that. But mainly we wanted to bring out creativity and
主要嚟講咧，
individual heart and spirit. That's it.
我
Is
哋
that
希
too
望咧
much?
每一個
No, it's beautiful. Thank
每個
you.
人咧心裏
Very
邊
good.
都係有懷住
Rinpoche,
呢
you,
個
you
創
are
意。
welcome to say anything anytime.
Hi.
Hi, Rinpoche. I
I
didn't know
just
you
want to
were
say
here.
that
唔該，即
I
係
just
話
want
咧，
to say that I have
我只係想
kind
講
of，bullied Sandra a lot, but with a lot of
欺負咗我成日都欺負Sandra。
Okay.
I know Sandra ever since when I was 13.
Yeah, you were stealing comic books and hiding them under the cushions in the monastery
即係話
and
佢
reading them
係
during the longs. And you came to
十
borrow
幾
my
歲嗰陣
son's
時，
comics.
佢已
Yeah,
經係
you
識
were young.
Sandra。
And if my English is not good, it is all Sandra's fault
Wow,
because
he-
she is the one who
英文
taught me English.
係唔好嘅話咧，呢個就係 Sandra 嘅過失啦，因為咧開初咧就係佢開始教我英文嘅。
So, Rinpoche, can I continue with our second question then? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so Sandra, last week we were discussing of your project and you mentioned
Yes,
something
uh,
about the unconscious habits. And you
uh,
also talk about the
你提
difference
過
between
Sandra，你提
psychology
過嗰
and
啲
Buddhism. I found both of them very interesting. Can you share these 2 points with our friends here?
Well, Buddhism's like the sky, so I can't really address that adequately. And that's hard. Could you say that question again, one at a time?
Yes. So can you tell us, because you have a lot of exercises here is based on
啊
psychology.
你
But
你呢度有
the
好多
goal,
功法
I
咧，
think,
就
is
係
helping people
係源於呢個心理學嘅。
Buddhist philosophy without using Buddhist jargons or Buddhist words. So what's the difference
冇用
between
到啲佛教
psychology
嘅
and Buddhism?
專有術語，咁其實你認為嗰個佛教同埋呢個心理學佢有咩差異？
Habits and psychology a bit. Psychology again is just sort of like
通
helps
常咧
us
就話
with our emotions.
心理學咧就係能夠幫我哋去應付我哋嘅啲嘅情緒。
It helps us
譬如話喺路上邊有啲石頭，我哋將佢搬開咁樣，佢能夠去幫到我哋嘅。
Repeated patterns that come very often from the unconscious aspect of ourselves. So
其實我哋人咧係有好多自己
sometimes we have habits that are
即係
really
唔
they just keep repeating.
唔察覺嘅一啲嘅
We repeat them.
習慣嘅，
Most of the things in this website are geared to the unconscious
所以
because
呢
if
個
I
網頁
talk to
裏
you
邊咧
about
好多
something
時
you
候
don't
就
know,
係
like if you talk to me about
係
careers,
去
it's like
指
talking
向
to
我
a
哋
cow.
心裏邊嘅一啲
Doesn't
嘅
work. If I talk to you
我哋
about unconscious
下意識
mind,
或者唔察覺嘅一
and
啲
you don't
一
know
啲
what you're
嘅
talking
障礙，
about a habit you're doing, you're not
或
going
者
to
一啲嘅習
understand
慣，
it. So these exercises in here, some of
所以
them
咧呢啲嘅
go
方法咧，
indirectly. We go
或者方法
indirectly
咧
to change what's and
就
bring it up. Does
可以
that
咧
make
就
any
係有
sense?
時
I'm
係
not sure that makes any sense.
間接咁樣去
Then
去對
how
付呢
do
啲
we
問題。
know we have what kind of unconscious habits we have then?
Well, we get
咁我哋
complaints
點知道
from
自己有啲咁樣嘅東西呢？
And
So-
Carly,
we get scolded by the great masters. We look at our life and it's a bit of a mess, and we look at our house and it's why is it so messy? I mean, it's like
有時
feedback.
我哋
We have to
睇
believe
到我哋嘅屋企
what's
點解
what
咁
feedback
凌
to a
亂
certain
呢？
degree. We have to analyze it anyway.
咁
If
我哋需要
criticism is
去
true
分
or
析。
not, and then we have to look at it and say, oh, yeah, that might be true. Like I think it was
係
Zonzar
我發覺
Kensei, but it
啊，
might have been
係
Tendinobu
喎。
that was telling me how I was too bossy with my children.
譬如
And
話
I didn't,
我以
I
前嘅
didn't
老
know I
師
was
啦，
bossy.
呢林波寧波
But
車
then I
咧
started
就
looking at
話
it,
我
and they were very young.
成日
I
都好
started
似
looking at it, and yeah, that's true.
好 boss 咁樣，
That's
即係
true.
成個老闆款咁樣，
We see that, and we don't need to go in
要
this
指揮其他人。
religious, spiritual. Oh, I'm so happy that you've criticized me. I can't stand that. But we can look at it and we can say, yeah,
咁其實咧，我哋
this is true. I've got to try to
如果
change.
詳細咁樣去
That's all.
去觀察自己咧，係可以
And
發覺
habits
到
are
有
easy
啲
to
咁嘅問
change
題
if we
嘅。
know them.
如果我哋
right.
知道我哋
So
有啲
now
問題
can
咧，
you
我哋就可以
maybe
開
share
始
with
改
us
變
the
佢啦。
two exercises? Can you share your screen and maybe take
跟
us
住同
through
問
two
你可唔可以分
exercises
享
you
一啲
find
嘅功法
might be
俾
very
我哋
helpful
知
to
道咧？
our
咁
friends here?
Yeah. This is there.
而家佢網頁裏邊咧就有講到係
This is a exercise that came from a teaching from Dungsi Teninobu Rinpoche.
點
And
樣去化解我哋嗰
it's
啲
a
嘅
little
憤怒，
story.
呢個係
He
天
taught
林波
this
寧
to
波
a
車
9-year-old boy
所教
that
嘅。
was at our house.
佢係
The little boy applied it.
呢個
So
係一個
it's
佢
a
佢
one
教一個
little
小
boy would
小
come
孩
home
子
from
嘅
school. He was staying at
一
our
個方
house.
法嚟嘅。
Come home from school every day, and in Boda in
一個小孩子
Kathmandu,
咧
right by the stupa, there was this gate.
翻屋企
It was easy to open if you could figure it
嘅
out,
時
but
候
he
咧
couldn't
就
figure it out. So every day the boy was furious
每
and
每日
beat
咧
the
就
gate and very
就係
unhappy. And then
開
one
閘
day,
嗰陣時候咧，
Dungsi Teninobu was
佢發覺
coming
好
to
難
our
開，都
house,
成踢個
and
閘
he
嘅，
saw the
好
boy
好
kicking
好
the
嬲嘅。
gate. And he
咁啊，
said,
天林波寧波車
"Stop,
見
stop.
到
He's so
佢成日
gracious
踢個閘咧，做咩
and
咧？
full of grace." And he said, "Stop, this is
咁
what the boy told me."
咁佢就
And
叫個
he
寧波車
said,
叫個
"Let
小
me
朋
open
小
the gate
小孩
for
子
you,
咧
and
就
let me tell you
誒
what you
唔
can
好
do.
唔好踢啦，
You
咁
can
你
just
咩問題
watch
啊？
your
咁
anger.
佢
Don't watch, don't
同
think
佢
about
分
the
析
gate.
啦咁。
Don't think about the gate. Just
咁佢就
go
話：誒
inside and watch your anger."
嗱，你唔好去諗嗰
And
個
what happened is
嗰
that he did watch
個
his
閘，
anger.
然後咧
It's
你
sort
要
of unbelievable. And then the
去
next
去
day
去
he
諗
came home from
去
school
睇下你自己
and he
嘅
said, "I
憤
did
怒，
it. I opened the gate.
即係
I
將你
got
嘅注意力
angry.
咧由你
Everything
個
was
憤怒
fine."
嘅對象裏邊移開。
The Rinpoche
啊，
was teaching that
無
too
論
when
嗰
he
啲嗰
came
個
home.
係
And
咩
he
東西，
also said,
然後咧就係將你嘅注意力
anger
咧
is the
由
contrived
憤怒嘅對
aspect,
象
and it
向上移
conceals
開，
the uncontrived true essence,
將你嘅
which
察
is
覺力咧
profound
就
clarity.
轉向內心啊，
And then he explained that anger, when it
同埋咧就
dissipates,
注意你
fades.
嘅
When you watch
憤
it, when
怒，
you watch on the anger, it
你
just
可
sort of
以由
evaporates.
佢
And practice it
升
a
起，
little while, like a week or two.
但係咧
You
你
will,
亦都可
if
以
you're
想像
angry
你嘅憤怒
or
好似一啲紅
annoyed
色嘅煙咁樣
or just
向上
aggravated,
移
you
動。
can watch that.
同埋消失。雖
然
然佢係無形嘅，但係咧係能夠令你係能夠感受到呢個能量嘅強烈。我哋應該咁樣去覺察佢。無論乜嘢令你嬲怒啦，呢個東西咧就好似一塊熱磁鐵咁樣，令你一次又一次咁樣拉你翻去。我哋咧盡可能咧要抵抗咁樣嘅情況。我哋應該好似頭先咁樣去進行察覺，一次又一次咁去察覺。當你進行呢個練習嘅時候，你就會開始感到情緒同埋精神上越嚟越會輕鬆，越嚟越輕鬆。你可以即係譬如話，如果你有憤怒嗰陣時候咧，你可以想像嗰啲憤怒好似一個紅色嘅煙咁樣咧，係向上飄移、飄走、消散。
Thinner and thinner and lighter and lighter and evaporating. So watch that. The thing is that what we're angry at or annoyed at is like a magnet, and we want to go back to it and create the story and want to be right, and we go back and back. But then we go away from ourselves.
你嬲怒嘅事情咧，就好似一塊磁鐵咁樣，成日拉住你，拉你翻去佢嗰度。我哋咧就要抵抗呢種嘅情況嘅。我哋如果能夠一次次咁去察覺佢咧，咁樣嚟到練習，我哋就會越嚟越輕鬆。嗱，你可以從任何嘅激烈嘅情緒之中運用呢個嘅冥想嘅技巧，禪修嘅技巧，例如咧悲傷啦、恐懼啦、妒忌啦等等。
And also, like,
即係就話我哋好多人咧，即係喺儒家或者係宗教背景之下長大嘅，我哋隨時有好強烈嘅內在嘅批評，你應該點樣處理呢？有時自己批評自己嘅，我哋應該點樣去處理佢？
And when we have expectations of never being angry, that's a problem. Again, that takes you away from yourself. So the expectations create
呢個期望咧
leaving our potential wisdom. And so, we're going to be angry, but maybe it'll be less and less. And maybe we'll, through purifying this anger, not purifying, but like lightening it up,
就可以咧想像咧，就把呢個批評嘅聲音嘅聲調調低。就好似收音機咁樣。跟住咧，可以想像咧，呢啲批評嘅聲音變成好似卡通嘅聲音咁樣，等佢好似變成好似好愚蠢嘅一啲嘅吱吱聲咁樣。第三樣咧，想像咧嗰啲批評嘅聲音咧，同埋佢帶俾你嘅感受咧。飄遠，去空之中，好似星星同埋月亮咁樣，咁你幾乎聽唔到佢哋嘅聲音。關鍵咧就係咧，佢嘅聲音咧係從你嘅腦海中移除。
Have you ever heard like, when are you ever going to do that right? Look at your friends. They can manage, so why can't you? You're so lazy. What's the matter with you?
我哋咧細個嗰陣時候咧，成日俾啲父母鬧咧，就係點解你做唔到呢樣，做唔到嗰樣㗎？你睇下你嘅朋友，你睇下你個邊個親戚，佢哋又做到，點解你哋做唔到咧？咁。
As you create a scenario, oh, I'm this way, and the I gets stronger and stronger, and the compassion gets less and less, and the caring about others get less and less, because we're very busy being hard on ourselves. So it isn't like we want ego here. We don't want to be like Mr. Wonderful, but we want to get everything that's in the way, and it won't all.
成日諗呢啲嘢咧，我哋可能咧就會係嗰個自己係受到傷害嘅。
More compassionate, keep walking on that path, and does that
我
make
哋
sense?
主要咧就係咧，我哋要培養自己嘅部分，盡自己嘅能力去做啲事情。
This works, but
就可以啦。
it works, but it's hard to remember to do what works. That's really It's like taking your vitamins, you know. I've got great vitamins and I keep forgetting to take them. And you get a little
你而家
exercise
介紹
at
啲
work.
功法咧，就好似一啲嘅維他命咁樣。
How do you remember it? So
如果我哋係記得去食呢啲維他命咧，佢係會有用嘅，對我哋有幫助嘅。
imagine when
但
you're
係咧，如果我哋唔
thinking
記得
about
嘅話咧，咁我就
you're thinking of negative things about
就冇
yourself.
就
However
唔
you're
得啦。
thinking, if there's a voice or there's a feeling, turn the volume down. So
即係
instead of, oh, why can't you do that? It's like, why can't you do
即係好似
that?
頭
Why
先
can't
講，
And the volume down, that's a trick. It
即係
shatters the pattern. It changes the
即係嗰啲
dynamic.
批評嘅自己嘅批評咧，內心之中嘅批評咧，
If you're talking
我
to
哋咧
yourself,
就
it's like,
首
oh,
先
I
咧
should
就
have
可
done
以
that. Oh my God. You know, it's
較低佢嘅
it's
聲
like,
音，
I should have done that. I don't know why someth's
好
wrong
似
with me. Why am I
收音
like
機個
this?
大細聲咁
I'm
擰細
my
聲啲。
mother, whatever. Anyway, or we're blaming our mother for making us so critical. Then you can turn that voice into a cartoon. You
咁
know,
或者
I'm
我
sort of
哋
from the days of Donald Duck, so I don't know what
覺得
the
啊，
cartoons
以
are
前
these
媽咪
days.
成日鬧
But
我
if
係
you have
搞
a
到我
voice
而家
and you're
咁
saying,
樣唔好
well,
咁。
that's
咁但係呢啲
magic.
咧，你都係可以
What's the
運用呢個
matter
技巧啦，
and you're talking crazy to
啊，去
yourself
去到較低
with
呢個聲
different
音，亦都
sounds.
係
That shatters
第二
the
樣咧，
pattern.
就可以
So
咧
it
將呢
doesn't
啲
come
聲
back
音
the
咧
same way
變成
again.
卡通嘅聲音，啊，好似吱吱喳喳咁樣，
Another thing you
啊，
can do
好似好愚蠢咁樣。
is if you're really
咁呢啲
negative
嘅聲
about
音咧，就
yourself, you can imagine
呢啲嘅所謂批
yourself
評
in
呢
a
啲咁嘅聲
circle
音咧，就係
in front of
冇
you.
咁容易能夠影響到你。
Imagine yourself being critical and just zoom that circle out in
咁
space
然
so
後
that
咧，
it's
即係
far
呢啲
away.
嘅聲音同埋佢帶俾你嘅感受咧，
And let, I think
你就
that,
可以咧
that's
就
a little
係
bit hard to do.
好似遠
But
鏡咁
change
樣將佢
your
飄入
voice
去虛空之
pretty
中，
easy. Now, there's one thing that's important before I stop this is
好似你睇星星同埋
aware
月亮咁
of
樣
what
係
we
變
do
成越嚟越
wrong.
細，好細嘅
It's
啫。
important, but
咁你幾乎
awareness
聽唔
can
到
be
佢嘅聲音。
powerful. It can be almost
關鍵咧
exciting.
就係咧，
It
嗰啲嘅
isn't,
聲
it
音咧
isn't
係從
that
你嘅
inner
腦海
critic.
之中咧就係移開咗。
Criticism solidifies. It's like glue. It keeps the
呢啲批評
pattern
咧
there.
就
So if
就
we
係
have
會
it's like
好
the
似
difference between
好似嗰啲
having the hands
膠水咁
in
樣
and having the
黏
hands
住你。
out. Oh, I'm being so bossy. Oh my God. That's not a critic, but that's not abandoning our awareness to the California thing of, oh, you deserve to be happy. You deserve this. You know, we deserve to be awake.
即係譬如話
We
啊，有
deserve
人
to
以前鬧過
be
佢話
aware.
你
That's
你成
that's
日
all.
都
I
係要
just want to
想
make
指
sure
揮
that
人
it's
咯咁。
very
咁
clear
一
that
個
we're
咁樣
not
嘅
abandoning
批評咧，就成日都
looking
係
at
個心裏
ourselves
邊
and
咧就走翻
awareness
出
and,
嚟。
and changing.
咁佢咧就會
Is that
令到
it?
自己個察覺力咧
Yes,
減低
yes.
咗。
Okay, thank
啊，
you.
我哋要反轉嚟做。
So, it's really wonderful to hear. You know, I think
啊
we're
Jennifer
looking
咧就
forward
好
to
多謝啊
continue
Sandra 啦
to。work with you. Hopefully, different projects we can all have the opportunity to invite you to facilitate, to actually do a group kind of a practice on these exercises
都希
in the
望將
website.
來有機會咧
So
請
thank
阿
you,
Sandra
Sandra.
咧
I think I'm
係
going
帶
to
住一
pass
啲
the
同學咧
mic
做一
to
個嘅
share
團體
the
嘅一個
screen because
嘅
we're
練
going
習。
to talk about the chariot dance part. So
啊，跟住
Deepak,
咧我哋又可以
so
介
I'd
紹一
like to
個
introduce another
一種嘅
member
舞
of
蹈。
the Creative Resilience
啊，
Project,
我
Deepak
哋想
Tagore.
邀請咧另一位嘅
As we all know, she's
創意韌力
actually
項目嘅呢個另一個
represents
成員咧
foundation in
Deepak。
India, and she's also leading many different
Deepak 咧
important
就係
projects. And
都係
and
星際
so
寧波車當年嘅弟
it's
子啦。
wonderful to
佢又
see
參加
all
過好
of
多
the
嘅重要
very
嘅項目
kind
嘅。
friends
佢係 印
doing
度
this for
音節基金
for
會嘅
religious
負責人。
exploration, and it's actually a very daring project. I think that's why I feel like, wow, let's try to work
佢
together to see how we can make
喺網站
make
上咧，
this
佢
project
佢
fruitful.
有一
So
個關於
Deepak,
呢個
I
chariot
noticed
舞蹈
there are some
嘅影片。
chariot dance videos also in this website, but I think for a lot of us, we don't really know what is the
我哋唔知
purpose
道
of doing chariot dance.
呢個
How
舞
can
蹈
we
嘅有啲咩
utilize
作用嘅咧？
Can you
點
share
樣去
with
運
us?
用佢咧？你可唔可以同我哋分享下
Namaste,
點樣利用呢個
Ramesh.
影片嚟
Hello
到調節
everyone.
我哋嘅情緒咧？
Jennifer, I don't
咁
know, I'm
Deepak
very
就
nervous at the
介紹。
moment, but I would like to say whatever I can. And about Charya, I think it is
呢個
something
chariot
that
一
I
個
feel everyone
嘅
can relate to and
舞
connect
蹈。
to. as I did.
我諗好多人都可
And I
以
didn't
去
understand
做
much
嘅。
of it at that time. And later I came to know that this is a traditional Buddhist dance form. And
其實
there
呢
is
一
a
個係一個好
specific
傳
Buddhist
統嘅
charya.
一個
There
舞
is
蹈
a
嘅形式。
there are many non-Buddhist charya as well. So the dance of the 5 elements is
你亦都
actually
唔一定係佛教嘅。
the charya that we are going to do,
Charya
which
呢
is
個舞蹈亦都
on
同呢個
the
5大元素有
workshop
關係。
within this project. So which will be available for many people who don't understand. Of course, this is mainly for non-Buddhists who don't understand Buddhism so much.
我哋嘅
And
設計咧，亦
so
都
we are
係
trying to
對於嗰啲
get
主要
to
係對於嗰
tell
啲係
people
同
about
佛
charya,
教
that this is a form of activity. It's
對
like
佛教冇乜
you know
冇乜
how
認識嘅
how
人，
yoga is, but it's little different. It's a form of
大家都
meditation. It's an active
會聽
meditation.
過瑜伽
And
或者
it's
有學過瑜
as
伽，
we all
但係
know
呢
by
一
now
種
that we are
嘅
all
舞
made
蹈
up
咧
of 5
係
elements. And
唔同
in our
瑜伽
but in the growth
嘅做
process,
法。
what we unknowingly absorb in our bodies, and so we
我
know
哋
there is toxicity, there is
下意識
we
咁
are
樣吸
aware
收
of
咗
so
喺個
many
身體嘅
things
咧，
at the gross level that we are absorbing negativity, and then subtle level there are many
我哋有時咧
blockages
就
in
會
the
吸
body,
收
in
咗
the
一啲
channels.
嘅負面嘅
So
嘢，
charya helps
令到我
clean
哋嘅脈咧就
all
會
those
有
clean our elements through
有
specific
呢個障
movements
礙
and
嘅。咁
mudras. Now
Charya 呢種舞
practicing
蹈咧就
regularly,
會
we develop this
係
charya body, and
可以通
it
我
is
哋
an
嘅
actually
嗰
a
啲脈
natural
啦。
movement in our daily life. But the difference here in charya is that we become more aware and
我
connected with the
哋會
elements.
更加
So
係
5
有察覺
elements,
力。
and when we connect with the element, we
我
naturally
哋如果
connect
能
with the
夠
universe,
係
and it's
同嗰
magical.
5大元素
So
聯繫咧，
then the
我
universe
哋都同
itself
宇
is
宙
charya,
會
and
聯繫上
everything
嚟。
that happens here and now is charya. Whatever is happening is charya. Whatever will happen
所
is
有
charya.
而家
And this
所
is
發生嘅
something
嘢咧，
beyond
都係
words.
Charya。
In my understanding, it's an experience, and that's how we came up with
我覺
this.
得咧
And
呢
we
個
need
係一
to
個
do this
經驗。
workshop for people because our own experience about charya, whether I
我
don't
哋
remember to be a
自
Buddhist
己
when we
嘅
learn
經
charya,
驗
but
咧，
I think it's where we can relate with people who
即
have
係我
these
哋
blockages, and not just blockages. It's also it gives a lot of joy in our bodies when we do these exercises. It's so much for me.
身
It's
體
so
會
much
有一
better
種
than
嘅快樂
doing
嘅感覺。
yoga. And it's but it's like explaining to you or anybody. For me, it's like explaining you the taste of chocolate, even I mean, and you have never tasted chocolate, so it's
不過
very
咧
difficult
就
to
呢個係
explain.
好似
I
漁人
hope I
飲
will
水
be
冷
able
暖
to
自
join
知咁樣啦，
when
即
you
係你要
will
試
be
過
able to
先
join
知
the
嘅。
workshop, which is
即係好似我
the
冇辦法可以介紹
Stay
朱古力嘅咩味
Fit
道。
dance, charya dance workshop. So see you there.
Thank you,
希望即係大
Jifa.
家都會嚟參
I
加。
would love to taste the chocolate like all of you did. And how long did you practice Charya? Do we need to do it for a long time to feel the
即係你問問佢你
transformation?
學
No, I
習
think
呢個
it
Cherry 嘅
depends
舞蹈
on
學
the
咗幾
dances.
耐
So
咧？
with
咁
these, what our charya teacher, Anudi will be teaching specific charya with the elements, and then there are different exercises and movements.
其實
So there
Cherry
is
咧亦都
not
有好
actually a
多
long
好多
practice,
嘅
but short ones. So she's really
即係有啲
expert
長有
in
啲短啊。
teaching you like specific charya. So I think to
有
do
啲係
with the
同唔同
elements
嘅
and the
元素
chakras and
係
the
有聯繫。
the balancing, that part we'll have to wait to experience, but short little bit of practice every day will help definitely.
Oh, wonderful.
其實
It's
咧
just
即
like
係
any
有
of
心
the
有錢嘅啫，
practices.
錢嗰啲咧我就係
Exactly,
可以
right?
每
Thank
天
you
都
so
可以
much.
做得到
Thank
嘅。
you to both of you. And I think both of them have chosen a very beautiful video from the website. It's called Path to the Heart. And so we will
呢
end
度咧
today's
我哋
gathering
係喺
with
網站
this
裏邊
video. And we
係
also
有
want
一
to take
個
the
好美麗
opportunity
嘅
to
影片
thank
叫做《通往
Guruji
心嘅道
for
路》。
coming to give us the Bodhisattva
我哋
vow
以
to
呢
be
個
with
嘅
us.
視
And so
頻
we
咧嚟到
want to thank
結束
all
今
the
日嘅
Desai
法
volunteers
會
and
啦。
interpreters
喺結束
who
之前咧，
made
我哋
this
感謝大家
event
今日嘅
possible.
參加，
And
我
if
哋
you
都要
are
感謝所
interested in
有
being notified of
SI
future
悉達
events
多嘅
related to the
義工同
Creative
埋
Resilience Project,
翻譯員佢哋
you're
嘅協助。
welcome to fill up the
如果
form
你有
in the
興
chat
趣
room.
收到
Or
呢個
if you're, for our Chinese friends,
創
you're
意
welcome
能
to
力
email
呢個
to
項目相關嘅未來活動嘅通知咧，請你喺聊天室裏邊填寫你嘅表格，
the plan for
或者係發送呢個電子郵件。
our vision, Rinpoche gave us this vision to translate all
如果
the
即係咧
canonical works into Chinese. But we feel
俾
it's
我哋呢
also
個嘅願景去翻譯
really take the
呢
wisdom
個大
in
藏
this
經，
text to connect with the people in their daily life. And we are
而我
hoping
哋咧亦都係希望
collaborating
咧
with the
係
Creative Resilience
能夠
Project,
係
we can really
透過
build
其他一
a
啲項目，
bridge
譬如
between
話
the
呢今
teachings,
次
the wisdoms in this text with the
呢
daily
個項
life.
目咧，呢
Because
個
Rinpoche
彈
told
性
us
嘅
in
能力，
this
呢個
Buddhist
項目咧係
canonical
同
works,
更多
Buddha
人咧
had
係
taught us
能
all
夠
the
連
wisdom
接
we
起上
need
嚟。
for our life. But how do we actually
希望
utilize this and truly
都
put
係
in
能夠
practice
係
in our
係
daily
用到
life is what we want to explore
喺
together.
經裏邊
So
經典
we
裏邊
hope
嘅一啲智慧
you
咧，
will join us when
喺
there's
呢個
future workshops.
日
And
常
now
生
we
活裏
will
邊咧，係
ask
同
Jack
更多
if
人咧能夠聯
they
起上
can
嚟，
share with us this
係
video
或者係
for
解決一
the
啲
today's
更多
gathering
人
here.
嘅一
But
啲
we will
嘅
have
生活上
another
嘅
30
難
minutes
題。
of question and answer with Sandra and Deepa. If you are interested in
跟住
interacting
咧，
with
我哋
them
會係繼
after
續同
the
Sandra 同埋
event,
Deepa 互
please
動
stay
嘅。
back and
如果
we
你
will
有時
have
間咧，
the
請你
whole
留低嚟
question
參
and
加
answer
之後
session
個
in
問
both
答個
English
環
and
節。
Chinese.
但係呢
Because
個
we're
環節
not
咧
sure
就只
if
有
some of
英
you do
英語同
hear
埋呢個
some
普通話嘅
language
啫。
for other languages. So after this, we'll have another 30-minute sessions. But if you need to go
咁
because
之
it's
後咧就
also
有一
quite
個大
late
概
in
30分
Asia
鐘
now, we will
嘅一
understand.
個
And
嘅
thank you so
答
much
問嘅
for
環節。
joining us today. And wish all of you
多謝各位今日嘅參加，
beautiful afternoon and beautiful evening. Thank you.
希望大家早安、午安、晚安。
Thank you, Jack. So we'll end today's gathering here. If people want to stay back to ask Sandra and Deepa questions, you're welcome to stay. Rimuje, I can see you're still there. So would you like to say anything? Or you are muted.
The network is really bad, so I'm trying to sort of
或
catch
者話咧，今日互聯網個穩定性係唔得啊。
some of it.
但係基本上咧，我都知道
No,
你哋講
I
嚟
don't think
嘅
you。should try to say anything because it's
我諗我唔
really
應該
bad.
再講啲咩東西啦，
Okay, but thank you for joining
因為
us.
個互聯網真係唔係幾得。
Okay, so we will just continue with what we have planned to do. And so is anyone here have questions we would like to talk to Sandra or Deepa? Actually, Jack, can we have people turn on their microphone, or how does it work? True, we cannot. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
so
people can put their questions in the chat room. Can people text in the chat room?
yes, so I think people can raise their hand so I can grant them the mic. So, but for the time being, so
I
we
see.
can go for the text Q&A maybe.
Okay. Oh, Deepa, people asked whether you have any plan for future workshops. Can you share that?
Yes. There will be ongoing workshops. Should I share the screen,
Yes,
Jennifer?
please. Yes, please do.
So at the moment,
I can see 2 people raised their.
there is one question. I think this question is for Sandra. I don't know how to make this full now again. Sandra, the question is, adaptation helped me survive and thrive. However, sometimes I'm too much of a mirror or projector. If someone makes me dislike myself, should I remove myself from the situation?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't understand it. Is this person saying they pick up the energy from someone else and mirror it back?
I
that what
think
it
something
means?
like that.
I can't say remove yourself, but there's a trick that I take on energy very easy from people, and it's always been a problem. And sometimes if somebody else is quietly angry, all of a sudden I'll get angry, like I catch it when it's invisible. But there's a crazy trick that really works for me, and it comes from a neural. Well, I don't need to say where it comes from, but anyway, you can imagine a pillar in front of yourself. Just imagine a pillar, and then the energy of that person goes into the pillar instead of coming into your auric field and yourself. And it seems to help. And it really seems to help. And if it doesn't help, if it doesn't work, then we're free. If we're gonna, yeah, you can leave or not leave. I can't answer that. But I can say there's I understand picking up energy and reflecting it, and it is a problem. And the only thing that's ever worked for me is this pillar. It's like a big pillar in front of yourself. Does that make sense? It's so out there. I can imagine it doesn't make much sense, but it is a part of a certain kind of psychology. It isn't just my fantasy or California thing.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
have
Sandra.
4 people raise their hands. So Deepa, would you like to take their questions?
Okay. I don't know where they are.
I'm looking at the workshop. Is that what I should be looking at?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
I just allowed users, so you are allowed to unmute yourself if you are available.
How can we request to join Deepa's workshop? So this will be the dance workshop by Acharya dance teacher, and this will be once a month workshop. So if you register on the in the form on the website in the Charya dance workshop, or you can also register and mention in this form about if you would like to do that. But I think if you want to join a particular workshop, the Charya dance workshop, you can register on the website. So maybe I'll just show you where exactly. You go to the space element. In the space element, there is this Charya dance. You can also, yeah, I think here you will see this register now. So you register for this, and we will have a minimum number of participants every month. Once a month, we will have this workshop. So we also have given the details of what we'll be doing. This is a beginner's course. So we'll be doing these, and then eventually we'll be moving on to the advanced level, a little bit advanced, not so much. So here is the, I hope, get the answer.
So
art workshop also. Okay.
Deepak, there are a few audience are asking, would you have the creative resilience project in other languages, Chinese and other languages?
Chinese depends on you, Jennifer, and other languages depend on other translators. If they volunteer to do this, we are most welcome to, I mean, they are most welcome to do this, but I don't think we have the capability to translate. So
Okay. Yes. I think this is a question. I think when they are available, we can announce it, right, through your Instagram.
Yes.
Like
Someone said, someone has asked, Rinpoche once said, dance
taking
without
question and
conscience.
answer from somewhere else, because we have three other
Oh, okay.
people here. Are
Okay,
you
okay,
taking
sorry.
questions from somewhere else?
I'm seeing them in the chat room. Anyway, I think you go ahead.
Oh, Q&A. Oh, yes.
Q&A room. There is.
Okay. And some are in
Please,
Chinese.
yes. Please, you ask first, and then I will go to these questions.
Okay. So I will pick. There are some more personal questions. I think maybe not so appropriate to ask them here at this moment. So would you offer projects related to environmental protection?
Sandra, would you like to take this?
Well, the reason that we gave voice to the earth is and the water and the wind and the sky and space. We have, sorry, we have these, people can see the voice of wind, the voice of water. Those are to make us become more aware of the needs of taking care of the earth, of taking care of the water. But as far as a project beyond that, I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. Sandra,
But
there's another, right.
The voices are to connect us in a more heartfelt way to the five elements so that we really get the feel of earth, and then we appreciate more and we remember more and we think about it more when we walk on her, and when we look at the sky we remember and we're grateful. So that's as far as we go here in this project at this time.
Yes. So there's another question, I think very connected to what you would like to do. So say the question is, sometimes practitioners may suffer trauma and other emotion difficulties and not able to directly find helpful methods from Dharmic teachings. Is there any suggestion or possible future program to support practitioners who are struggling?
Everything is always up to Rinpoche, right? But as far as trauma, these days trauma is like aspirin. Everybody has trauma, and some of this trauma is just plain old emotional problems, and plain old emotional problems can be solved through some therapy or some methods or some specific doctor, one or two times. But then real trauma from major, wow, that video's nice. Major, major, I don't know how to say it without using the word trauma, major trauma that has affected the brain, that takes a little bit of skill and doctors. But, I want to say this website has not little, but actually useful tools, but it doesn't address deep psychological problems. It doesn't address suicide. It doesn't address schizophrenia. It doesn't address many, many deep things. So, but there's tools in here that can make life easier if one has the trauma. It can. But I think trauma means doctor. I'm not sure, but that's what I would think.
Okay, thank you. So there's another person here says, as a psychology student based in Australia, I'm very excited to see such a project. Sandra, with your extensive experience I would like to ask how you effectively integrate psychology and Buddhist principles to help people with psychological disorders.
Well, I don't think about it. When I got my PhD, Tinley Noble Rinpoche was a major teacher and spent days, hours hammering my mind and teaching me about Buddhist psychology. And basically, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. Like Lama Tarchin once, he said to one of his students, I want you to go see Sandra, but just don't ask her what she does because she doesn't know. And I really just feel like I trust that whatever's I do. I sort of trust whatever I have, I'll give. And that's it. I don't think a lot. I just do. But that's a really bad answer, but that's the truth.
That's very good. So actually, many people want to know how they can sign up for future events. So I think we can tell people here, it's in the chat room. There is a Zoom registration form. It's supposed to be working both China and outside China. Please just fill in your name and address, and then the project will contact you as soon as there's more detailed plan of the upcoming events. So there are some real case. Can I join the? Yeah, so just we can see from the inputs here, many people want to join the listen to the podcast. That's going to come more podcasts from the project and also the event. And then other questions are actually directly to their personal problems. And Sandra, I'm not sure we want to take this now. It's things like one of the persons suffer from their son committing suicide. It's quite difficult. I don't think this. We are very sorry. I think maybe
a doctor.
Yes, go to a doctor if such a case. So okay, one question is a more general question. Is this website going to be a platform for selected introductions of creativity and Dharma applied to the public society? Or are you targeting more specific people? Is it for general public or is for specific target group? Deepa, you want to take that question?
Okay, I think it's what I have, I mean, what is here, what I understand is it's for anyone who face these things, not for a specific, especially actually, I don't think this is specifically for any group, but for everyone who needs, who can use these tools. It's not necessary to use. Especially, I feel many Buddhists are too wise to use these tools, but
maybe too basic.
General public, yeah, it's too basic.
Basic for some more senior Buddhists.
Yes.
And how did you come up with the meditations in the website?
Oh, the meditations.
Yeah.
You have
based on Tinelong just teaching or?
Yes, Sandra, I think better Sandra talks about it, and then
people helped us actually. So many Buddhists that are connected to Zonzar Kensei helped, and like Alana I think she did the fire meditation, and I can't remember who did what, but we were desperate for those meditations. We didn't know how to do it, so most of them came from other people, but basically meditations were trying to connect the 5 elements in a very sweet and simple way. So that's it. We didn't do it.
I see. Okay, then there are 2 other questions I think is also quite crucial. One person asked, are these tools safe? I think what debates, like, for example, working with your anger, working with your sorrow, are these tools like exercises you suggest safe? It's okay for anybody?
I think there's nothing that's safe, but to the best of our ability, these are pretty safe. But if you don't feel, you look at it and you read it, and if you think, is this safe? Don't do it. Just don't do it. It's an idea, but there's nothing safe. It's like there's a toolbox with lots of tools. They may work and they may not, but you trust yourself. But we tried very, very hard to make them safe. We tested people, we researched, we did everything. But again, what's safe for one may not be safe for another.
Yes. Okay, then the other question is, can they share this website with non-Buddhists? Because some of them have friends, families who are not Buddhists. Is this a good website to share with them?
Please do that. It was made for them. Rinpoche said, don't just make this for Buddhists. That's why it was so hard not to make it for Buddhists. It would have been so easy to make it for Buddhists. We could have had the Buddha here and the sutra here and that. And we struggled and we couldn't do it. So because he said, underlying the secret wisdom, keep the Buddhist wisdom, but don't do it, but don't do it. Do it, but don't show it. It was so hard. But yes, this is for non-Buddhists. I'm pleased. And I was hoping once I did a book, or me and my daughter did a book, and non-Buddhists asked, oh, Sandra, let me see your book. And they'd see the book and they'd say, oh, this is so Buddhist. And I'm sure they never read one thing in it. But, this is for non-Buddhists. Yes.
Okay. For non-Buddhists who are stuck with different emotions and different problems. Can I say that? Because one thing Deepa shared is what you found really connected everybody together, Buddhist or not Buddhist, is their emotions.
Yeah,
Could you say?
Really, Deepa, do you want to talk?
I just thought about, we are all humans, and before becoming a Buddhist, I still had emotions and habits. Sometimes, even now they continue to, it's somewhere there. And I do suffer like other people. I do suffer. The only difference is a little bit of awareness and the blessings. I think I'm connected with one of the best human beings in the world, and that helps me. But the common thing between other people, I don't see there is any other difference, at the level of feeling the emotions. And I think on the path, we are trying to follow the path to, to work with the emotional defilements and attain a stage. But for the non-Buddhists, they also feel the same, but it's just that they are not on the path. So that's the common thing between non-Buddhists and Buddhists. Like all of us feel the emotions, anger, frustration, sadness, and everything. So that for me is, so that's why it can be used. And I use the tools in the website. It's very helpful for me.
Yes.
I remember one thing I want to say is His Holiness Dujin Rinpoche said to me, I think it was to me or a small group, that you never know who, when you're walking down the street, you never know if that person's going to be enlightened. So I've always kept that in my mind. Instead of I'm Buddhist or we're Buddhist, and then there's them and then there's us, it's like, who knows who's who? But that's what Dujin Rinpoche said. And I thought that was so wonderful.
Yes.
Because we never know.
You never know, right? And I think maybe we can, Rinpoche, do you want to share anything? Please, say that I will.
Please say something.
I feel like, Rinpoche is there, and then maybe he can enlighten us.
We are blabbering and blabbering.
Yeah.
It's so nice. I have a trauma for, not knowing how people, sort of listen to me. So sometimes it's good to be on the other side of listening. Actually, Sandra and whoever, Sandra, what is trauma? Can you explain?
Oh, God. Well,
can you explain? Can you explain as a Buddhist and a non-Buddhist both?
I think if we could look in the dictionary, it would be good. But in a few years ago, trauma was a very serious thing, and that affected the brain and affected the physical well-being. And nowadays, emotional problems are called trauma. So I think in the nowadays language, it means It could be a neurotic pattern. It could be upset. Just a really, really upset. Like, not real trauma is like when you, like the bus accident, you fall off and you have PTSD. You go to war and you have PTSD from war. That's trauma. You have concussion. That's trauma. But nowadays,
I see.
everybody has trauma. So I can't define it for the nowadays.
Okay, Roger, there's one question actually for both you and Sandra. It's the person said, I'm a Buddhist beginner. If Buddhist tools and non-Buddhist tools are mixed together, will that
I didn't hear the
affect
question.
my...
Can you repeat it again?
The person is a beginner on Buddhist path. So she's worried if we are mixing Buddhist tools and non-Buddhist tools, would it affect her path to seek the truth?
It's a really, really good question.
I don't know. What do you mean by non-Buddhist? You mean like if you mix
Like this stuff.
like if you mix like a Buddhist and what do you call it? Evangelical, or what do you call it? Jehovah's Witness or Sunni or Shia, probably not a good idea, but as long as it's nothing like a religious whatever, anything else is fine, right? I think so. Ask Dr. Sandra, what do you think?
I think if you're really worried about that it's good to just stick with thinking of what the Buddha said and just let that be in the beginning. Just think about that, do whatever Rinpoche says. And then, if you have some huge problem in a year or two, you can figure it out. Emotional problems come up. But I think it's a very good question. I don't think there's any harm in anything that is here that would hurt anybody. But the Buddha's words and in the beginning, it's so wonderful. It's really wonderful. I think, I'm not sure, but I think as we go along the path, sorry, we have to face ourselves more and more. So our emotions come up and our negative habits come up. And then maybe when they come up, it's really good to get a little help. But I think you just stick with the beginning Buddhists and think about what Buddha said.
Okay. Then it comes to, I think the last question for today is meditation. We were taught meditation is the first thing we should try to do as Buddhists, but we are also taught by some people saying meditation in the wrong way, you might become crazy for doing it in the wrong way. So how do we, we as Buddhists, how do we help people? Whether is meditation good for people with trauma? So this is a question to both Rinpoche and Sandra.
Rinpoche, that's Rinpoche's question.
No, that's Sandra's.
No, Rinpoche.
Come on, this is something to do with the meditation. You meditate a lot. I never meditate.
Rinpoche, I've had the teaching of no meditation from you. So, but I think if you have a lot of trauma going on, then very brief being quiet and still for a few minutes is fine. That's what I would say. If Rinpoche weren't here and you were just asking me, I'd say, oh, just meditate for a minute, or just meditate when you brush your teeth, or when you're in the shower, just imagine everything, all the sorrow and things leaving. Don't have to do the meditation until the mind quiets down a bit. If it's real trauma. Again, the word trauma is just gone. I don't know really how to address it.
Do you want to say anything on top of that? What Sandra said?
That's it.
Okay. Approved answer. Okay, thank you. I think we have come to the end of the time we set for this event. So thank you, Rinpoche, for being here. Thank you, Sandra, and thank you, Deepa, and all the translators.
Thank you so
and
much.
all the friends.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Such a wonderful Moon Festival.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. So if you have any questions, you can email us. We are here. Well, even to Kinsey Foundation, you will be able to reach us, both our Kinsey Foundation project. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Jennifer.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Jennifer.
Thank you. Kinsey Patricia. Bye-bye.